What's more important, that the government tell you what it knows, or that you trust the government to decide what you need to know? It's an interesting proposition, right? Especially in these days of not trusting institutions. Well, I'll tell you which one of the issues on the table go right to the heart of this. UFOs. Now, I'm Chris Cuomo, and I'm talking about what's happening in these hearings that is a moment of truth or of bullshit for the American people. Because I'll tell you right now, your government knows things that it doesn't want to tell you. And the question is, why? That's what's happening in these hearings. And I can tell you why it matters. I enjoy having you here at the Chris Cuomo Project, subscribing, following, and often I'm picking things to talk about that really matter to you that often are going off the radar, pun intended. UFOs matter. Now he's laughing. And let me tell you, with his little dancing bear shirt, he's laughing and he's been mocking because he doesn't understand.
I think a lot of deadheads have thought they've seen UFOs.
Listen, you will see stars when I punch you in the temple. You are mocking. You are mocking because you think that I believe that they have little green men locked in a basement.
I think UFOs are a very interesting subject because I think it's very hard to prove. And I think that this idea that, you've seen this, you've seen that. I think there are so many possibilities that the fact that it defaults to, this like green alien is hanging out in some field. I think that's very silly because I think the possibilities of what life could be in the universe are far beyond what you've seen in like Mars Attacks.
All right, two issues, okay? One doesn't really matter to me that much, and the second means everything to me. First, do you believe that there is life beyond what we know of planet Earth?
Yeah, I think the odds are it has to be. There's so many possible planets. There's that study that just said like the universe is even bigger than twice as big as they thought it was. It's like surely there's like a cockroach somewhere. There's certainly in my apartment. And there's probably one in Saturn.
So you're open.
I'm very open to the idea of yes, there are more beings out. There's life elsewhere.
I am as well. I do not have any real reason to believe that it has visited us here, and I also don't care. Here is the second reason, because I don't believe that's something that anybody would ever be able to keep quiet, by the way. But here's why I'm so into the UFO issue, okay? You said it's very hard to know, you hear a lot of things. It isn't. They absolutely know what they have seen and found and monitored and watched, okay? They know things. Absolutely. They just don't want you to know. And that's what bothers me. Not little green men, not flying saucers, but even the most recent report on the eve of the hearings about this. And these hearings are a very big test about whether or not these lawmakers really put your interests first. Because I don't know how it's a national security issue. That has to be articulated to me. If they don't exist, then whatever you don't know about them isn't a national security issue. And if things do exist, then there should be a transparency issue. And the idea that you know nothing is unacceptable to me. And that's the issue. It's not about little green men. It's not about flying saucers, at least not for me, okay? It's why do you get to decide what we know and what we don't? I feel the same way about the Kennedy assassination. There is no way that you shouldn't have the information in those files. But sources and different ways that we collect our information will be revealed. Please, they tell you about their sources and methods all the time when it serves their interests. This happened 50, 60 years ago, okay? But we still have to be hidden from it now. Why? I'll tell you why they don't want to release the files, okay? Administration after administration. Even Trump didn't release them, and it really would have worked to his kind of agency of being Captain Chaos and having you guys distrust your government as much as possible. So you're dealing with something that happened over 60 years ago.
Well, some of these UFO crashes apparently happened also over 60 years ago, like the stuff they allegedly found in, like Roswell or some field.
And it's the same issue, okay? They've made a decision that you don't need to know. The Kennedy thing bothers me more. Why? Because overwhelmingly, the suggestion is that they'll be embarrassed by what you read in there, that it will turn out to be embarrassing for Italian Americans also if the mob is as heavily involved as I have read over the years. It's embarrassing. It's the worst portrait of an Italian American is the thuggish mobster mafiosi who believes that violence is somehow power. However, I'm telling you, in those files, there will be information, there will be perspective, analysis that the American government had reason to know that there was a move being planned on Kennedy, and they didn't stop it, and they're embarrassed. And they also think it may look like they were okay with it, and it will undermine confidence. But I'll tell you what undermines confidence even more. The secrets, the lack of transparency. It was a long time ago. Everybody involved is like dead or, so past their due date of relevancy in our government that it's better to know. I'll tell you why. Because the not knowing breeds all kinds of toxicity. It's like mold to the national mentality that you weaponize what is unknown. They don't want you to know because aliens killed Kennedy. They don't want you to know because Russia killed Kennedy. They don't want you to know because X fill in the blank of conspiracy bullshit killed Kennedy. Same thing with UFOs.
So take some of that. Have you seen the famous footage of that, like the pill thing, that like long white thing that like shoots underwater and then across and stuff, like that some pilot picked up on his, plane or whatever. That's out. The government released that after it wasn't released, or, it leaked and then it was released. What would be the reason to suppress that? And what would be the benefit now to releasing it without saying, we might know what this is, but we actually have no idea what this is?
I don't believe that they have anything that they don't know what it is.
So you think they think they must know, surely that's a drone or some sort of a weapon?
I think they don't want other governments to know what has been effective and what hasn't. Mm-hmm. I don't think they want people to know what they have been reverse engineering. There was just a report out about that, about them having reverse engineered things that have gotten over here. And they don't want the other side to know, and they don't want us to know. But where is the line? These people work for you, okay? They're doing this for you. And I believe that one of the reasons we've gotten ourselves into this jam that we're in right now, where nobody trusts anything or anyone, and our government seems to exist too often only for the purpose of advantage and investigating each other. Now, I know that they're still doing a lot of good work in government and a lot of things get done, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, okay? But, transparency matters. And all of these questions, even, all the stuff that Trump is doing that people are upset about in this country, you've made it easy for him to do it. There's not enough transparency in the election process. It's too hard to get answers from the FBI about things. It's too hard to, look, for years, my job was going at the FBI. I only became a defender of democratic institutions when we had a president of the United States trying to undermine them for his own advantage. I don't want to be in the business of defending the FBI. I want to be in the job of checking them as power and making sure they're held to account for what they're supposed to do for us. I hate the answer of we can neither confirm nor deny. Hate it. Why? Well, obvious reasons. It's frustrating. It's a non-answer. But also, who are you not to confirm or deny? If there's an investigation going on, fine. But tell me, what is all this mystery game of messing with people's minds? I don't like it.
Remember that Chinese spy balloon?
Yes.
There was a balloon from China that was like drifting over the continental US and Canada.
Yes.
And it was tracked by the media for a while.
Yes.
It was this Chinese spy balloon.
How many times are you going to hear me say yes?
I didn't think many people heard about this story, but the balloon was like, there were many balloons that were
say
found.
It again. If you say
the Chinese spy balloon,
you
don't want me to say the Chinese spy balloon?
If you say that it came over here one more time, I'm going to see if I can peel your face back and find a little green man.
I'm just trying to jog your memory. I'm just trying to jog your memory. Does that play into what you're talking about, like confirm nor deny? I remember when that story was breaking.
Yeah.
They didn't want to reveal it because there might be sensitive technology in there. Is that on the? I'm not saying those balloons were UFOs, but is that part of the same point that you're making of like there are these things that we know about, we don't really want to talk about it, but that's sensitive, so we now know. We know what is in here, but we don't want to say we know what is in here. Is it that same sort of thing? So you have this weird dance?
And look, I'm open to discretion. Of course, there's certain things that for national security or competitive advantage or for whatever reason, it's better for them to hold the information close. I get it, but it's gone too far. The reason that the Russia dossier was so destructive is that they let things leak out instead of owning the information and providing people the context. Dossier is a nothing word. It means nothing. It was just used as a term of art that isn't. It was a collection of raw intelligence from one guy who was working a situation for an outfit that they knew was in part financed by a Clinton-related pocket. Why not just say it? Because what you allowed with your secrecy and non-disclosure was people to spin it their own way. I always tell people, if you don't tell your own story, someone else will. I promise you, you will not like the telling or the ending. And that's what happened there. The whole Mueller investigation was based on the dossier. No, it wasn't. But shame on them for allowing people to believe that by not getting in front of the story. Transparency, okay? The Bidens, why did all these people get money in your family? Own it. Give the answer because it's going to be answered for you, okay? Trump, Ivanka, with the patents in China. Own it. You know it looks bad. Explain to us why it isn't. You see what I'm saying? The transparency is the issue. I don't really give a shit about UFOs or little green men or flying saucers. If they come, they come. I'm open, okay? I believe in a higher intelligent power that sent its son here who got crucified for the sins of the rest of us. I choose to believe that, but I'm not open to alien life. The arrogance of that is too much even for me, and I'm on TV. Our next partner is AG1. The daily foundational nutrition supplement supports whole body health. Now, I gave AG1 a try because I wanted it to be easy, okay? I wanted the thinking to be done for me of what goes with what, and I wanted to make sure that I was going to have a complete supplementation, okay? So I drink AG1 in the morning before I work out. It makes me feel great, ready to go. It gives me the energy that I need, and it's easy, and it tastes great, all right? So since I've been drinking AG1, I've noticed an overall improvement of, one, my poop game is strong, all right? And I have no shame in the poop game, all right? And it's easier. It's no more, I have to take these with this, and then in the afternoon, this, and this hurts my stomach if I don't take it with food, all that stuff. I get the multivitamin, I get the probiotic effect, and it's just one easy, drinkable habit. So if you want to take ownership of your health, and of course you do, right? Isn't that what it's about? It starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. You go to drinkag1.com/CCP. drinkag1.com/CCP. Check it out, okay? One of our sponsors who supports us is Cozy Earth. And I dig it. I'll tell you why. Because I like things that are good to use, that I enjoy, and that also give me that little bit of doing the right thing feels. And that's what Cozy Earth does. Why? Because their textiles are made from bamboo. Their sleep clothes, their bedding, they're like temperature regulating. And so as a result, when you want to be cool, they help you stay cool. When you want to be warm, they help you stay warm. And look at the thousands of 5-star reviews. And if you don't like it, they'll refund your purchase price plus the shipping, no questions asked. And get this, you get 100 nights to try them out. 100 nights. So I don't even know that my sheets last that long, by the way. Especially with the dogs living in them. And you know what? She hasn't ripped through it with her claws yet. How can Cozy Earth make such a guarantee? Because they know that the bedding made from their viscose bamboo is better. And they know people are going to like it. So for a limited time, you can save up to 40% on Cozy Earth through the show. Go to CozyEarth.com/Chris. Enter the promo code Chris at checkout, and you're going to save up to 40%. I mean, come on. Try them for 100 nights. If you don't sleep cooler, send them back for a full refund. You can't lose. CozyEarth.com/Chris. What I'm not open to is you deciding not to tell us things because it just suits your agenda. Why do I have to hear from whistleblowers about whether or not the IRS was able to investigate Biden's son with full force? Why isn't it the commissioner of the IRS telling us exactly what happened? Why isn't it the attorney general being completely open? Why do we have these special prosecutors in the first place? Okay, the only way that you can do anything fairly here that is overtly political, maybe become criminal, maybe not, more often than not doesn't, right? You got to get an independent body or commission like we did on 9/11. Non-office holders. They could be former ones, but non-office holders, former judges, etc. That's the only way where they have nothing to gain. Okay? We thought we did that with Mueller. You got a guy who's a Republican, so they'll be happy, but he's a super straight shooter, does his job well, so the left will be happy. But what we didn't know, with all due respect and deference to Mr. Mueller and his service, was that he was past prime. And he wasn't really at his best the way he had been. He wasn't the Mueller we thought he was. Okay? Honest mistake? For me, yeah. But for the people who put him in there and interviewed him for it, I don't know. Maybe they should have known. And I think that matters because you got to have trust, and trust comes with transparency. That's why these hearings are so important. And if these lawmakers let themselves be talked out of situations the way they are with that JFK assassination file, it's a shame. And they're going to hurt the situation in this country.
So you have said you don't really give a shit if it's like actual aliens or whatever.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. So in this amendment that Schumer is putting into this defense bill, it's going to require any and all recovered UFOs, and UFOs in brackets, probably, UAP or something, and biological evidence of non-human intelligence that may be controlled by private persons or entities. Because there's speculation that like Boeing has a bunch, or, so Lockheed Martin, they have these like downed craft and it's like secretly they're taking care of it. And there's like, they can't reveal to anybody. If they're saying what they'll have to do is, nope, if you have this, you have to disclose it to a Senate committee or something, does that satisfy what you were just talking about like an independent board?
Is a Senate committee enough for transparency? No. I want it. Look, I feel the same way about the Twitter files, okay? They shouldn't. I very much want to talk to Musk. I think he's an interesting guy. I want to hear what he's offering as opportunities to do programming on Twitter. I'm open to it. I don't like Twitter. I think it could be greatly improved. I don't know that that's what he is doing, but I'm open to it. Again, I'm very slow to judge things in general because I'm blessed with a very high indifference curve. My I don't give a fuck factor is abnormally high, especially when it comes to people. So you got to earn my interest in your existence in the first place. But what I'm saying is him giving it to select people. I like Schellenberger. I respect Schellenberger. I have him on here. I have him on at News Nation. Taibbi, same. I don't know Barry Weiss.
Barry Weiss.
I don't know her personally. I know her work generally. I'm not criticizing them. Am I jealous? Oh yeah, all day. They should have returned. They should have Twitter, not the journalists. They should have put it out to everybody, because what he did was guarantee cynicism. Well, what are you talking about? What did you have? Where's the stuff? Why do I need your interpretation? While I respect them and I take their interpretation, but I understand why people wouldn't. It's a mistake. If you're going to be transparent, be transparent. That's why the statement exists. It's often not the crime. It's the cover-up. Why? Because your desire to have people not know. And remember, I'm not talking about what shouldn't matter to you, okay? You guys are the ones with the obsession with the personal lives and who's zooming who and how and when and why, and Hunter Biden's kid and why the Bidens don't accept it as a grandchild. What do you care about their family drama? Be selfish. Want the transparency about the things that matter to you. That's what you should be obsessed with, not who Trump is sleeping with. Oh, but you covered it. Hey, I was forced to cover it because there was a payoff scheme that he denied. Okay? So now it dovetailed with campaign finance stuff. And it became an integrity issue because he was lying about the cover up. If he had just said, yeah, I paid him off, I wanted to keep him quiet, and they broke the deal, and I want my money back, I probably would have just left it alone. Why? Look, you're not going to find a perfect moral agent, okay? And the idea that you can and it's worth judging them only works for the judges, all right? If the bar was before you go into their sex life, you got to go into your own, let's see how many reporters would want to report on any of this. You see what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the things that matter. All right. If you believe there's alien life and that's what, okay, fine. I think that's a very small number of people. What I think is a majority of people in this country is not just that we're open to the romanticism of life beyond us and the metaphysical and the existential curiosity in that, which I think is fine. In fact, there's something beautiful about it. It's you don't get to decide everything that we know. You don't get to do that. Okay? That's not what government is for. Not with this, not with the JFK thing, not with Hunter Biden, not with Trump, not with any of it. I don't want politicians controlling what you get to know. Listen, you're running a small business, man. You're busy, okay? You don't have a lot of time, and the only thing you have less than time is money. So you got to be efficient, and that's why you go to Indeed.com. You can attract, you can interview, and hire all in one place. And look, it's not like you're taking a risk, all right? 3 million businesses have signed up with Indeed.com. They're clearly showing the way and how to get it done if you need to hire. And look, it's got to be easy. It's got to be quick, and it has to be efficient. And that's what Indeed.com is all about. And to make it easy, how about this? $75 sponsored job credit. Go to Indeed.com/Chris C. Limited time offer. $75 credit. Indeed.com/Chris C. So you'll go there and, you support the show by saying you heard about it on the podcast. And that's the Chris C part, right? Terms and conditions apply, but this will help you boost your job listing and get you hired even faster. Get who you need so you can do what you want. Indeed.com.
I just think the idea that when Trump was president, the idea that if he knew aliens existed, that he wouldn't immediately just tell everybody. Like in the indictments about the classified documents, he's got these like Iran attack plans, and he just like shows them off to the people in his room. You don't think that if like he knew, hey, a bunch of Martians crashed in Michigan, he wouldn't immediately tell everybody? I don't think something
like that would stay secret. I really don't.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the whole disclosure thing to me is very silly. It's like, not silly, but the idea that a secret like that could be kept competently by a bunch of people.
But when you refuse to talk, you fuel the unknown and you give it value. You can even weaponize it. I'll tell you where I don't agree with you is on the Kennedy stuff. I think the reason that Obama, let's just do recent presidents, Obama, Trump, Biden, I think the reason that it hasn't come out, even though we're a million years after it, is because they get convinced each time by the guys that they got to rely on in really powerful agencies that scare them, probably a little bit, especially when they're first in office, that you don't want to do this. This is going to embarrass us. It's going to reduce faith and trust in what we do, and it's going to cause more trouble than clarity. And they believe it time after time. Even Trump, who, if anybody would have been invested in the chaos it might create, it would have been him, because he's a burn it down guy, right? Which I believe is completely disingenuous and only focused on his own interests. So to me, it's like, just stop being played for a sucker. And these hearings should be about letting us know more, because they know more, all right? And if we're under threat from alien life, then let us know. And if there's stuff that you found that you reversed engineer and the answer is yes, then you should be telling us more, because it's our tax dollars that fund your activities. And not everything is, if we let this be known, then China will kill us. Not everything. It passes that test. The Kennedy assassination, it goes on and on and on. Weapons of mass destruction, yellow cake, it's all bullshit. And it's wrong for you to be duped by people who are supposed to have your interests first. That's what bothers me. And that's what's going on. And that's what the UFO hearings are about. And that's why they matter to me. If there's foreign life, great. There've been flying saucers. Who knew? I'll tell you who knew. The people who found them. I want transparency by government. Transparency is trust. Okay? Trust, verify. They go hand in hand. They keep things from us. They bait you with things. We believe we're going to develop evidence that President Biden knew. But what? You believe you're going to develop evidence? What does that even mean? That's an investigation in search of a crime? Or you have proof that he knew, so you have to dig. That's called probable cause. It is the foundation of our administration of justice. The hell are we doing here? Oh, you only feel that way when it's Biden. The heck I do. I felt the same way with Trump. I said to you every night at CNN, it is a mistake to go down the path of impeachment. First, it's a mistake to talk it. Either do it or don't. Don't keep talking about maybe you're going to do the impeachment. Do it or don't, because you got to be held to account for what decision you make. And that once they started to go down the road of impeachment, I said, why? You'll never remove him. You don't have the votes. Oh, but it's the right thing to do. Says who? The right thing to do is to put the people's interests first. And if you're not going to remove him from power, then how are you doing that? That was my beef. It always was. I said they wouldn't get him. I'm telling you now, the guy's not going to go to prison for any of these things they have. And I don't know that he should. I don't even know that the indictments help us. But no one's above the law, says people who've never been involved with the criminal justice system. No one's above the law. There's no such thing as prosecutorial discretion. Come on. Come on. That's what it's about. That's what this hearing should be about. Just tell us. Okay? We can handle it. Okay? You can handle it. You can handle it. Whatever it is that they know, you can handle. Whatever they know about the Kennedy assassination. And they know things. And it is not the story that we all tell. How do I know? I do. Well, then why don't you tell us? Because I don't have the source material.
Well, why don't you tell us? Have you ever seen a UFO?
I don't think so. Well, no, yes. Have I seen things that I can't identify? Yes. Sure. Doesn't mean
in the sky. You've seen.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's something from another world. Well, actually it is. Most of the time it's probably shooting stars. One of my favorite things to see in the sky, by the way. But meteors, whatever they are. But sorry, I've seen unidentified flying objects. I don't know what it is.
So
but
what if you came across one and it was like an actual like alien thing? What would you do? If it like landed in your backyard?
Would be my guess, right? Because I'm so afraid.
You don't want to be like an emissary and be like, hello, good afternoon. Would you like a kombucha?
Kombucha.
You don't want to be
you like the way he dragged it out? Such a punk.
You don't want to be, I'm saying, like, what would you do? You wouldn't want to be an emissary? You're like a strong guy. I figured you would want to like wrestle
I tend to be, oh yes. Take me to your leader, but first let's leg wrestle.
Yeah, I feel like you'd want to like show dominance over this poor alien.
Yes, I immediately would pee on the nearest vertical object, which would hopefully be you if you were with me.
It sounds like it's in the dossier.
That's it. See, dossier means nothing. You're giving that word power.
No, I just know it's full of...
There is no D word, all right? There is no dossier. We don't give that word any power implicitly. It shouldn't have any, all right? I would be open and welcoming, as I am to most people I come across.
Even though you just said that you're mostly indifferent to people. You're open and welcoming, but relatively indifferent.
I am, but I'll tell you what, I think that's the way to be. Why? Look, do I care about humanity? Absolutely. I am absolutely naturally empathic. What I'm saying is, this hyper sensitivity to people's lives and seeing them torn down, and negativity as a proxy for insight, and this lust for the bad things about other people as if they somehow justify your own existence or flaws, I think is a mistake. You guys are way too interested in dirt on people. And my business often gives it to you, feeds your need or perceived need. And I think it's a mistake. I think that we need a dramatic increase in indifference to other people's flaws and faults, and an increase of interest, a radical increase in our concern for shared consideration. more about our interconnections and our interdependence, and less about why others are less than you. We got it backwards right now. There should be more collective concern for what brings us together and what we all need and want. That's why these hearings matter. Less bullshit, more transparency. You decide. You're an adult.
So the Reddit aliens community is really looking forward to this idea of disclosure. Is there anything you want to disclose to the UFO community as we wrap up?
I hope that these hearings surprise us with the attention to duty and to the transparency coming from the other side. We better learn things because they know things that you deserve to know. Okay? Thank you for giving my perspective some room to breathe. What do you think? Question, comment, subscribe, follow. See you at News Nation, 8 and 11 o'clock. I will continue to cover this, not because I believe that somebody's got antennas popping out the back of their head. It's because we deserve to know what they know. They work for us. Okay? Let's get after it.